Hello there, welcome back to our exclusive series on the community, The Valley by Emaar. And today we'll be discussing about the journey of Valley all the way from Eden to Valley 3.0 where you have AVELIA and OVELLE. So this is Zahir.
I'm Ritesh.
Here from Think Properties.
So Zahir, when people talk about the valley today, they see launches touching almost 13 million. And people assume that it's always been a premium community, but that's not actually true. So back in 2019, when Eden was launched, you could actually buy a 3-bedroom townhouse in just 1.12 million.
Exactly, and that's why the Valley is one of the most interesting community in Dubai real estate market, because Emaar didn't just build homes, they evolved a community over 6 years. And if you look at every launch over from Eden to Oval, you are actually looking at the evolution of buyer demand in Dubai real estate.
So let's go back to 2019, Eden launches. And at that time, Dubai was coming out of a softer market cycle. So people wanted affordability, people wanted space. And MR answer was very simple. So create a suburban family community.
And that's what reflected in the the product, the community. The homes were practical, 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses around 1900 square feet to 2300 square feet for a 3 bedroom and 4 bedroom townhouses respectively. Nothing extravagant, nothing on a wellness concept, no water inspired communities, no luxury positioning at all in this community.
So the amenities also tells us the story. The Golden Beach, like 30,000 square meters. Then you have Kidsdale, you have Sports Village, and parks spread across the community. Then you have the pavilion of almost 33,000 square meters. Then the town center. So you have retails, everything inside. So everything was designed around family life, not luxury actually.
Got it. The message was very simple. Own a Emaar community or a home at a price that was previously impossible, and the market responded to it.
Yeah. Then came NARA, TALIA and ORANIA, starting from Q3 2021 and goes up to Q2 2022. So, interestingly, Emma didn't reinvent the product. They basically refined it.
Got it. Emaar came with better facades, better layout, more efficient space planning, and at the same time, slightly larger home compared to Eden. The buyers remain the same eventually. Young families, first-time homeowners, and at the same time, long-term investors is what they were looking at.
So, phase one wasn't about luxury, it was about proving that people were willing to live in Dubai, Dubai's suburban corridor. And once again, MR got the validation, everything changed.
The first major shift actually came before most people actually noticed, and it came in the form of Palm Gardens, launched back in Q4 2022.
So, and this launch was fascinating, I would say, because suddenly MR produced something that didn't exist anywhere else in the valley. So, huge land, privacy, estate living.
Exactly, Nitesh. Now, here we are talking about a 4-bedroom villa where the built up is 4,950 and a 5-bedroom villa of a built up of 5,600 square feet. And the plot size is ranging from 9,000 to 10,000 square feet. And all this with the starting price of this 5.1 million.
So, which was shocking at the time because, previously Emma was selling 3-4 bedrooms, maximum at 2 million. But now people started looking at, properties which are worth 5 to 6 million. And that too villas.
Yes, all the way from townhouses.
Townhouse.
And that was Emaar testing a theory here. Would buyers actually pay a premium for a lifestyle inside the valley? And the answer was very simple, a yes. Now, if you look at the current timeline, all these 5 clusters which you talked about, Eden, Nara, Thalia and Orania, along with farm gardens, are actually ready on today's market.
And then we arrive at 2023, and in my opinion, this is the most important year in the Valley's history because MR launched 4 projects, RIVANA, ELORA, NIMA, and ALANA. So, and all of them moved the community up market. So, starting with ELORA, they offered 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses with better architecture, better layouts, and better,
Different language
modern
altogether.
design.
Exactly, the product became more aspirational, not luxury yet, but definitely more premium in regards to the community.
Then came RIVANA, and honestly, I think RIVANA changed everything.
Absolutely, because Emaar introduced three things simultaneously in this community, which was water, privacy, and semi-detached villas within this single cluster.
So for the first time, buyers, could own semi-detached villas inside the valley. The sizes jumped drastically. Three bedrooms starting from 3,152 square feet, four bedroom 3,430 square feet, and five bedrooms, almost 4,500 square feet. So the sizes improved actually.
In fact, think about that. The community went from, roughly a 1900 square feet townhouse to almost 3,200 square feet semi-detached villas. And this completely changed, the buyers altogether within the community of Valley.
And the water-inspired positioning made a huge difference. So suddenly people weren't buying just a house; they were buying a lifestyle.
Now, after RIVANA came NIMA, which was, a continued story, which was more greenery, stronger connection to the nature, larger plots, and larger built-up areas when we compare it to, ELORA over this year.
So landscape become a part of this product, not just an amenity.
And then came ALANA, which again pushed the community even further, which is through larger plots, larger villa, larger, or let's say higher prices altogether, which give them a greater privacy compared to RIVANA, which is in the same community and the predecessor. So the valley was officially moving into premium villa territory altogether in comparison to all of the community of Dubai.
And then came 2024, and honestly, I didn't think we have seen a busier year in the Valley by Emaar community.
Completely agreed, because the quarter one saw the launch of Lilia, where they offered 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses, and quarter two saw the launch of Farm Gardens, where they were offering 4 and 5 bedroom villas, where the built-ups were a bit more higher compared to their predecessor Farm Gardens Squad.
Yep.
And this effectively ended the phase one, which had a land parcel of 2.15 million square meters.
And then started the phase two, or we call it the Valley West. And it wasn't an expansion, it was just a redesign of phase one.
Altogether, that's what. So here, there was a land parcel of 2.06 million square meter in regards to land parcel. There were 1.3 million square meters of open space, lower density, greener planning, more sophisticated infrastructure is what I would like to call it.
And most importantly, the introduction of the 5 elements of nature philosophy: the hills, meadows, valley, and river, then forest, making different themes across 250,000 square meters of the park within the community, and including schools and hospitals also.
2 schools and 1 hospital altogether.
So the MR launched after this VENERA and VELORA. So they launched this VENERA and VELORA after this.
And these townhouses were actually different. Emaar actually introduced certain concepts like, fourplex configuration altogether, larger built-up areas, semi-closed kitchens actually, and on the first floor for 3 bedrooms, all the bedrooms were made en suite altogether, and it gave greater privacy, at the same time more premium finishing altogether.
So what's interesting is that Emaar clearly saw a strong demand for the Valley West concept, as mentioned by Zahir also, and because of the demand, they basically expanded the same philosophy
into other clusters. And which brings us to the next concept altogether, the next launch, which is AVENA. Now, AVENA was introduced in the quarter 3 of 2024 after their expansive launch in quarter 2 for Valley Phase 2. And unlike VENERA and ELORA, which focused on townhouses, AVENA was more focused on semi-detached living.
Exactly, and around the sizes starting from 600 square feet actually, built up areas from ranging from approximately 3,000 to 5,300 square feet in the plot sizes, and starting prices would roughly around 4.36 million. But the interesting part wasn't the size; it was the planning of the cluster
altogether.
The Sikka spacing between homes were significantly wider, creating a more private and open environment. So no feeling of a back-to-back density.
Everything was single.
Yes. So AVENA felt more premium from the moment you entered the cluster.
Got it. And I believe that in fact, the success was so good that they went ahead to launch AVENA 2.
Yes.
Which is right there, right below it. And here what Emaar did is they doubled down with AVENA 2 altogether. Same semi-detached philosophy. Similar built up around like 3,700 square feet. And what they did is that they increased the plot sizes a bit more. Because of which the pricing also, went up a bit high here. But this showed how quickly buyers were actually accepting the premium product within the valley altogether. The evolution which you are talking about.
So then came Q4 2024, the Emaar launched VELORA 2, which proved one thing, that the VELORA concept is working,
For the townhouse.
for the townhouses. And instead of creating a new product, Emaar expanded the same formula. So 4-plex townhouses, nature-centric planning, premium family layouts, and so on.
At the same time, actually, Emaar was expanding their luxury real estate concept with Farm Grow, which is an extension of Farm Gardens altogether. So you can see Farm Grow 1 and 2. And Farm Grow was actually even more ambitious. They offered or introduced new products like detached villas, then like always semi-detached villas were also part of it, along with standalone villas. The plot sizes were actually reaching 11,000 square feet altogether, with a built up more than 6,200 square feet.
And this wasn't actually a suburban living concept anymore. This was a private estate living within the valley master plan. And then they launched ELVA, ELEA, and KAIA here, which was a shocker because, as per us, the Valley Phase 1 was totally sold out.
We thought it had come.
It was completely sold out, but they, gave us 3 more projects in the same area.
And actually, they played around with the layouts a bit more.
Correct.
And then after that is, like Ritesh mentioned, back-to-back launches of ELVA, ELEA, and KAIA. And here, ELVA was launched in Q1 2025, offering 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses with a built up actually ranging from 2,400 all the way to 2,700, and the starting prices being at 2.88 million here. So if you notice with the phase 1, they've actually moved from the smaller sizes to the bigger sizes here. Now after ELVA came ELEA, a slightly more exclusive release here, I would call it. The reason being is there was 64 units of each 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses because of the 4-plex configuration, and with larger plots and more premium positioning considering the previous launches within phase 1. And after ELEA, the next launch was KAIA. Here they introduced again the 6 and 8-plex configuration. A different approach to the density compared to VENERA and VELORA, which was in phase 2. Yet still, Emaar managed to maintain the greenery and the more refined planning philosophy in this cluster.
And what's fascinating is that even though these were townhouses only, the prices had almost doubled compared to where Eden started. And that shows how much the master plan itself had matured.
Then in Q2 2025 came RIVERA. Now, firstly, I think this would be the natural successor for AVENA 1 and AVENA 2 in the Valley Phase 2. And to be very, what it offered, RIVERA actually offered something which is very exclusive, 4-bedroom semi-detached villas. And this being the most premium cluster in the entire Phase 2. And this was the first LEED certified cluster in the entire community. Now, they offered a 3,700 square feet of built up and a plot size of 4,100 on average. And these were priced at 4.78 million.
And what happened is, by this point, semi-detached villas had become a permanent category within the valley community. Not an experiment, not a premium add-on, a core product. So after this, what happened is they launched VINDERA, which is right here in Q3 2025, and within the valley, and the last major launch within Valley West. So VINDERA essentially completed the Valley West story, 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses, and up to approximately 2,907 square foot built up area, prices starting from approximately 3 million and reaching out to 4.14 million
For 4 bedroom townhouse.
for 4 bedroom townhouses.
And that really summarizes what happened in the Valley West. Buyers were no longer simply, paying for the townhouses or the houses they buying for. They are actually paying for the ecosystem, the landscaping, lower density, the amenities, and the facilities like the schools, healthcare, and infrastructure which were yet to be developed. And altogether, it was the overall quality of life was what they were paying for.
And once Emaar proved that buyers were willing to pay for lifestyle, nature, and well being, the next step was very obvious, and it was for
The wellness era, I would
the
call,
wellness era.
because Emaar changed the entire focus, and we came into the wellness era, to be very upfront, and then we arrive at what we call it as Valley 3.0 all the way there. And with Valley 2.0, Emaar launched OVELLE and AVELIA. And at that point, the Valley was competing with, almost every established villa community across Dubai. Not for a townhouse, not just a townhouse community anymore. OVELLE and AVELIA weren't just launched as a villa community. They were launched as a wellness community altogether.
And that's the biggest difference. The product wasn't square footage anymore. The product became more of a mental well-being and nature immersion, restoration, slow living, landscape therapy, and of course
Wellness altogether. The prices actually crossed 7 million, and then it crossed 9 million, and altogether now we are at 13 million. But buyers were no longer comparing them to townhouses because they started offering villas altogether, detached villas to be very specific. They were comparing them to luxury lifestyle communities, and that is completely a different market segment altogether if you would ask me. So that's how Valley has evolved for today.
So when people ask why the valley appreciated, the answer isn't because Dubai appreciated. The answer is, it's because Emaar evolved over a time, and they upgraded their products also. So from affordable family housing to premium townhouses to semi-detached villas, then to farm estates, then nature-led communities, and lastly, the wellness-focused luxury living.
And the Valley didn't just become expensive, the Valley just evolved, is how I would like to conclude here.
And that's probably the biggest reason for investors. Sometimes you are not investing in what a community is today. You are investing in what it will become tomorrow.
And the Valley is one of the best example of how a transformation impacts the entire community along with their pricing and their, lifestyle and what it offers. So just to summarize the entire conversation we had over this video, we were just giving you an outlook in regards to how this entire community has evolved over time, all the way from 2019, where Emaar launched Eden for a 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses, to Valley 3.0, which is third phase of Valley, where they offered AVELIA and OVELLE, and they have 6 more clusters to be launched in this cluster, if you'd ask me, right?
So in our next video, we'll do a deep dive into every cluster, their layouts, and going forward, we'll discuss what are the layouts in the townhouses, in semi-detached and in villa communities also.
In fact, all these points which you have mentioned over here, we'll be deep diving into those.
Yes. So keep watching us and keep following us. This is Ritesh and Zahir signing off. Thank you so much.